I know I can't fight 100 men,
Mm-hmm.
but the first 2 motherfuckers that I catch, oh, they gonna be on a t-shirt. After the first 2 hit the dirt, the next wave gonna hesitate. And that's when I turn strategic. No more swinging wild. Now I'm doing math.
Welcome back, everyone. It's a new week, and of course, we have had some better outcomes in the week before. My name is Raman Wukong. This is the Crystal Bitoreum Network, and let's get right into it. 4.0.1.1 is stable, it syncs, and it works. For now, we are keeping a very close eye on the situation, but we have solved a lot of the problems that we have discovered in code that were just sneaking up on us, okay? It's good if you click on the wallet on Bitoreum.cc, which is the only official page for the Bitoreum project. Bitoreum.org has been compromised and bought by some weird Chinese company. Can't do anything about it. Shit sucks. Moving on. The wallet button will now take you to 4.0.1.1 download. There is some important things. There's, the standard stuff, what we highlighted. The pull request, patch notes, things like that. If you care, not everybody does. The critical notes, please do read this in full before attempting to do anything. And if you even have the slightest of question, do not hesitate to ask. This stuff's important, okay? The binaries are down here. The pi ones are experimental. Those are more for me because I have 2 different pis and I wanted to test something, and yeah. But in general, these the Linux ones, Linux ARM, Linux x86, and the Windows x86 do work, have been tested. The POW cache has been tested. The bootstrap is coming, but it had to be bootstrapped from the new network, not the old network. And by network, I mean chain. A little bit more on that in a minute. Here is the main branch 4.0.x. That is what we're currently working with, and if you wanted to get a little bit more nerdy on it, the tag releases 4.0.1.1. This is the code in its entirety for those who want to compile from scratch. The Bitoreum one-click compiler will work on that. You just type in, when it asks for the branch, v4.0.1.1, and it will build from that, okay? I do need to update not the main one. The main one works. It won't build for Windows. The development one will build for Windows, but I broke some stuff in the other one. So for the time being, just stick with the main one. I'll update that in a week or 2 when I have a little bit more time. Okay. The Explorer is down. You can't click on it, and if you go to the other page, it's just grayed out. I did a lot better job about disabling on this page in the home page, whatever. It's down for the time being. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to rebuild the MongoDB, which takes about 36 hours or worse, because we did have to resync the Explorer wallet to the new chain, and sometimes that causes a little bit of complications. Okay, so jumping into the next topic, mining pools. I'm only going to click on it once. Effectively, there are people that are not on the right block height. Ironically enough, if you see invalid block height, those are the pools that you want. Why? Because these are the pools that are using the new wallet, and Mining Pool Stats has not gotten back to me about updating PMP mining. For whatever reason, hasn't gotten back to me. Monero Ocean hasn't gotten back to me, although I've never really had a good working relationship with them, and they're hard to talk to anyway. I've tried talking to these guys, but as you can see, their hash isn't really all that important. Eunice, get a hold of me, talk to me, bud. Just we can go somewhere. PMP mining was the surprising one. I don't know why they just kind of clammed up overnight. Zergpool, Zpool, Browser Lab, Rplant. Thank you guys so very much for the support. Those are the ones you should be using, and I will be changing the mining pool button instead of linking to there, just in the official mining pools that do support us as of right now. All right, and in the terms of the exchange, we have one exchange that is willing to join us from day one. Thank you guys so very much, but I have asked them to not turn on their wallet for the time being. Biggest reason is we want to make sure that this works as intended and not cause problems for both the user base and the exchanges. So that way we can keep that partnership going strong. Love you guys. heart emoji. We want to make sure that everything works before we tell them to turn the exchange on. And at that point in time, then pools can go ahead and go back to auto exchanging coins, which I know has been a contentious point with some of you. I do apologize, but we want to do this right. And the whole point of this is we are going to have to rebuild things slowly. First, we have to rebuild the wallet. Then we have to rebuild the network. Then we have to rebuild the community trusts, right? So on and so forth. More exchanges will be coming. That just takes a deposit, more or less, to open up trade pairs. Trade Ogre delisted us. Cradex, I think, has delisted us, which that's fine. It was to be expected. I'm going to hold off on opening up more exchanges until the end of summer. We have one more major release that we would like to get done. More on that in a second, but yeah, that's what I'm holding off for. So I'm hoping by the end of summer to have at least 3 exchanges. Fingers crossed. I'm not promising shit. I'm just saying I hope to have 3 exchanges by the end of summer or the beginning of fall, one of the two. But we do have one more major update to have that will solve some problems. Right, so let's see here. Exchanges are down. Yep. The exchanges or Bitoreum will come back online when I go ahead and tell them, hey, this is what we've done. I feel confident enough saying that go ahead and do this. We just don't want to cost them transaction fees for 2 reasons. Either one, they eat it, which I don't want to do, or B, it comes out of my pocket to refund them the exchange fees that happened during miscommunication, which I also don't want to do. I will do. I just don't want to, right? Anything that doesn't cost me money is awesome, and anything that doesn't cost them money is also awesome, because then they're still willing to be our friends, right? That's the hope and goal, that everybody, or at least most people, are as happy as possible. The other thing that happened right before this all went to shit was that the Smart Node setup guide is now with a black background with white text and the color text, which makes it a whole lot easier to read. This is actually what I was working on when everything went to shit. There are some things that need to be updated, mostly just links to the old repositories, this kind of stuff, right? 4.0.2 has been completely removed. All traces to other versions have been removed from the releases. So if we look over, here, you will only see 4.0.1.1. I have deleted the other ones, mostly because the bootstrap there was for the old network, and I didn't want to get people confused. The PAL cache was the only thing that I've kept, because that is super critical. There will be a video coming out later today that explains what that is for and what that is going to be. Okay, so what's next? The next major release is going to deal with the Smart Node issue that has plagued this coin for a while now. Many of you know exactly what I'm talking about, and if those that don't, it's a ghost node issue. The coding was never really designed to scale with the network in 2 directions, meaning that it was designed to scale up, never designed to scale back down. So we need to solve that problem. Else the ghost nodes are going to continue to exist and piss me and probably everybody else who really gives a shit about the stability of the coin off, right? And we are solving that. That is our big working point right now, both getting a solution that works and getting a solution that works that doesn't crash the coin. That's not what caused the crash the first time. You can go back and see the error video, and it's a little bit more of an explanation, which basically the 2 networks fought with each other and both won, and that shouldn't have happened. That's really what happened. The old network said, nah, we're cool with you, and then the new network said, nah, we're cool with you too, and that shouldn't have happened. One network should have kicked the other network's ass, and that's not what happened, and that, my dear friends, is simply unfucking American. In reality, it shouldn't have happened. One very clearly should have won, and the other one shouldn't. Additional exchanges are coming. Like I said, that's just a money requirement for me, but I'm not comfortable in doing that until we know for certain what we're doing works and will not have to be stalled on the network, or worse, roll it back to a specific block. The website will be going through a little bit of an update phase. Like I said, basically the mining pools isn't going to link to mining pool stats anymore. They just are not responding to me, and I would much rather say, hey, these are the ones that I know that are backing us. Those are working with us, and then I will also have a a little bit more of an explanation. I mean, right now the exchanges, you can go to it, but right now their wallet is suspended and you can't trade on there anyway. But they are the ones that have said, yes, we're with you. Much love. Shout out to Bitoreum. Love you guys. Thank you so very much for the help and support. We've updated the roadmap to include the 4.0 emergency release. This link is now effectively a dead link. Like, it'll take you there and it'll have the source code, which you shouldn't compile from, because if you do, you're not going to have a very good time. But I did want to make a point to leave it in there to say was the roadmap for better or for worse. We still wish to launch the Smart Node giveaway. Obviously, we just had to extend it out about a week or two. I will be announcing exactly when that promotion is going to happen, and what's going to happen with that as a whole is basically there will be conditions on a video that's going to get released, and once it gets to a certain number of likes and you post your Discord name, right, in the comment section, you will get entered into a drawing, and that the lucky winner of that one will receive 1.8 million Bitoreum, enough to start your own smart node. You could sell it, but the idea is to actually reward people the full value of the smart node so they can just start a smart node without the need to say, hey, I need to mine to 1.8 million and I'm so far behind everybody else. Screw that. We want to give people smart nodes today. That's what that promotion was about. More on that later. Unfortunately, that project did have to get stalled for obvious reasons. They weren't very good reasons. But okay, we're at. I went over about 1 minute. Okay, we are now officially in the Q&A section. I am gonna go get me an iced tea. We are not doing alcohol this week because of all the shitstorm. Give me one quick second. Let me go pour me a glass of iced tea. We are now open for questions on the Q&A section. Go ahead and drop them either in the YouTube chat or for those of us following along on the Discord, go ahead and ask your questions there. Give me 1 second. I will be back and I will read them. Woo, that's brisk, baby. Not actually isn't brisk iced tea because that stuff's just a sugar bomb. We make our own iced tea in house. Just I put it in the freezer, so it is nice and cold. Okay, we are back. Let us get those questions. I got two that were actually asked yesterday, and one I'm just asking because I think it's a little funny. The question is, are you guys fucking incompetent? No. It's just there are, as the great Samuel L. Jackson said, there are known knowns, there are known unknowns, and there are unknown unknowns. Shit we don't know that we don't know. There were a lot of errors in the code. A lot of it had to deal with where Marius pulled the source code from with the older version of Bitoreum. And basically, it was a really old version of Raptorium that had a lot of flaws that Piggy hadn't yet sorted out. I have tried to upstream it back to a more stable version of Raptorium before they split off to version 2. And I think in the future, I would like to pursue actually pegging it back more to Dash, because the reality is that they are not a lot of features in Raptorium that we really use. So all things being equal, I like the master node concept. I really do. I like everything else about it, but the reality is the features that I like are really Dash features. They're not really exclusively Raptorium, and about the only thing that we share in concept for what I agree with Piggy is the algorithm. I like Ghostwriter. I know a lot of exchanges and a lot of mining pools just rolled their eyes when I said it. Look, you don't have to like the algorithm. I get why you guys have been frustrated with the algorithm. I like it. I like the concept. I like the fact that it's ASIC resistant. There are some things that need to be worked on, right? But I think as a whole that I think the code base, that's where I'd like to shift it to in the future. Right now we can't. It's a surgery procedure. We can't just cut out the Raptorium stuff because that's what makes this coin operate. So right now it's a slow procedure, but I think version 5 I think that's where I'm headed towards in that concept, tagging it or pegging it more to Dash than Raptorium. And I think that will make the Raptorium guys happy, right? At least I hope. I think they will maybe have more favoritism towards us if we get the hell away from their code. I'm not entirely sure what the real beef was between Marius and Piggy, and frankly don't care. Had nothing to do with me. But I would like to start off, as I have said, with getting everybody on the right foot, and I think that would go a long way. The second question is NFTs when? Never. I don't like the concept of NFTs on this chain. I like NFTs, but not the little pictures of monkeys, even though, yes, I know that I have a big picture of a monkey because I am just a monkey with a machete. There are some cool things about NFTs, but me personally, not a fan. And I don't think that this chain needs it, or at least I don't think that this chain needs it at this time. There is another chain that I play with that has it, so I would much rather do that over there and not muddy the waters over here, because adding NFTs in either by tokenization like what Ravencoin did or by smart contracts, which Ethereum did, is going to take a lot more coding. And to be perfectly honest, we're still not 100% out of the woods with recoding Bitoreum to actually be more compliant with the coding that's already there. There are features that need to be supported that just aren't right now, or they're not supported in the correct way, which caused a lot of the problems initially. No more causing unknown problems. That's the goal, at least for the next couple of releases. But then once that stabilizes itself out, then I will be looking forward to compiling a feature set for version 5 and then releasing that concept and then opening it up to the community for debate to see what they want. Version 4, I want to be very clear, is all about me. Okay? But that's because the coin and the network have to be stabilized, right? Once it's stable, everybody can play nice with it. At that point in time, the features will be opened up to the community to discuss. Look, if you guys want us to integrate, or us, royal us, me, if you guys want me to integrate NFTs for some particular reason, you can plead your case and we can talk about it. I'm not saying no indefinitely, I'm just saying no today, not in version 4. Version 5, probably not. Version 5.x, maybe. Version 6, more than likely. Because that's kind of the way that I'm looking at this. Version 4, stabilization. Version 5, probably pruning it back to Dash-based. Version 6, open to the community to move forward. Because by version 5, we should actually be a truly unique coin. Unique in the sense that we are no longer a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. We're just a copy of a copy, right? Meaning Bitcoin to Dash to Bitoreum. A Dashtorium, if you will. Okay, that is pretty much the 2 comments I had. I do kind of get a kick out of the "Are you guys fucking incompetent?" That was okay. Look, I know that you meant it as a serious insult, but I take it about as seriously as I do somebody, fucking with my radio. I will slap the shit out you and just move on with life. Was a good question though. You're right to be angry. Okay. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. I don't see any more questions. I know that somebody possibly had one. Sorry, I'm asking in Discord. It sounded like there's somebody that may have had a question. What time is it live? Nope. I'm not seeing any. I'm going to give them 30 seconds. So we're going to play a little bit of music for a second. I'm going to cut the mic, let it build up suspense, and then I'm going to get back to y'all. Okay. Nope. They didn't get back to me. So yeah, to wrap up, everything looks good. There are 4 approved mining pools: zpool.ca, Zergpool, rplant, browserlab.ddns.net. They're a new one. I haven't used them. They were actually directed to me by a mutual acquaintance. I'm very happy to bring them on board. I haven't gotten a real chance to check them out. I will be doing more of that later today, but I'm really happy to have them on board. I'm really happy to have our plant on board. I know that you had a lot of reservations going forward, and thank you so very much for actually continuing to support us. It really does mean a lot. You can absolutely be mad. You have every right, and every concern that you had is 100% valid. But thank you very much at the end of the day for sticking with us. Really does mean a lot. Thank you very so much to Xbitrion, and thank you so very much to all of you specifically for hanging with us while we work through this. Do stay attached for a little bit later. There will be a guide on how to transition from older wallets to 4.0.1.1 safely, cleanly, and what you should do. Okay? Also, we're going to be doing the Smart Node giveaway. Go ahead and follow us in the Discord. Shop at s-mart.cc for those of us who want to support the channel. I don't take donations. Just buy stuff from our store, which right now is eBay. Sorry about the shipping prices going up, but USPS increased the prices to a fuck ton, and I can't do anything about it. Anyway, folks, thank you so very much. I will see you all next week. Have a great week. Smoke some weed for me. Drink some whiskey for me. And much love. Have a good night.